guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing, you guessed it, the price of Bitcoin. Now, what we've seen recently for the price of Bitcoin is quite interesting. If we look at the daily RSI, we have held the most key level that we can possibly hold in an uptrend, which is the 50 level on the daily RSI. Bitcoin has actually bounced it. The previous multi-month 50 level of resistance on the daily RSI has now become, at least for now, a support. And if you guys have been watching this channel, we've discussed that 50 being a support is something that makes up major bull trends. This is what happened in 2021. When you're bouncing off of 50, it is constructive to the bullish side. When you're rejecting off of 50, it is destructive to the bearish side. Even in the recent downtrend, rejection off of 50 meant downside. Rejection off 50 meant downside. And both times we flushed down. But now, for the first time in a long time, Bitcoin is actually bouncing off of this 50 level. And this is kind of unexpected almost. It seemed like Bitcoin was kind of just flagging off like normal, like it was about to just dump again. But this is the first time in a very long time that we've used this bull market support line on the RSI as support. So we can't ignore the charts. We have to listen to what the charts are showing us, which is, at least for now, we're holding 50 on the daily RSI, which is bullish. And something else to consider is the fact that we are bouncing directly off of the RSI trend line, right? A lot of these uptrends, before we flush down, at least back here, right? As we're maintaining these RSI trend lines, Bitcoin is at least stable here. And when we break down, of course, it is bearish once again. What we can see right now for Bitcoin is that, well, we bounced directly off of the upward sloping trend line on the daily RSI. So Bitcoin is remaining stable. And Bitcoin will only dump if we get below 50 on the daily RSI. It cannot happen unless we're below 50, which makes it an extremely good indicator to follow. It is impossible for Bitcoin to dump without being below 50 on the daily RSI. So this is something to watch, because if we do fall below 50 and below the RSI trend line, yes, that is when we would flush down. But for now, we're holding it. And if you look also at the daily MACD, Bitcoin was crossing bearish, but if you look really closely now, we can see we are actually avoiding a bearish cross right now with the recent pump today. Well, a little bit of a bounce, I would say. So we are potentially avoiding some bearish stuff right now. And something that's really helping this happen, something that's really the driving force behind us not dumping right now, is Ethereum. Ethereum just the other day, just yesterday, was looking really like it was about to dump. I mean, the chart looked like this, right? Just the other day. This is the 4-hour chart. And it appeared as if we were about to break below the trend line, and then the bulls stepped in, bounced. And guess what, guys? We are now really close to hitting a new high for Ethereum, right? The highest high since over here, the breakdown, which was basically June 10th. Ethereum is nearing the highest prices since the breakdown. And as we know, when you get above a previous support of this magnitude, which was also the support, if we go back to the daily chart, this support line that I'm talking about there was also the support of 2021. If you can pop above a support that is currently resistance of that magnitude, that does usher in major momentum. So Ethereum is now at a point where it could possibly flip a resistance, right, break it. And if we get that, a lot of that previous support volume that is now resistance would once again cause a lot of momentum to the upside. So this is quite interesting for Ethereum. And not only that, let me just remove all these lines. And I want to bring you guys back to the weekly chart for Ethereum here. Look at that weekly MACD. It is crossing to the bullish side. So Ethereum, as we're moving into the merge, is showing potential signs of major momentum. If we get above 1800, we could see major momentum. If you go from your last discernible swing high to swing low, what targets do we see? Well, above us here, we have the 50% fib extension at 2200 about, and the 618 fib extension at 2500, 2550. These are the types of targets we would be looking for in a breakout scenario. So let me just remove this fib here and show you guys from this low to this candle body close zone right there. We'll just color this red as well. If we look at these two areas and then we pull up the fibs once again from high to low, we can see that a couple of them do line up with these zones. We have the 50% lining up closely with this wick here, and the 618 lining up closely with this candle body close zone. So these are sort of this is like the red box of resistance that we would be looking for to see resistance on a major breakout for Ethereum. In between 2200 and 2500 is really the target zone for a sort of merge pump scenario in the event that we break 1800. We'd be looking for upside targets like this, before eventually what I would most likely suspect would be a test back to the low, longer term consolidation, and then a breakout going into 2023. I do expect a lot of sideways action. So while I'm talking about medium-term bullishness, I'm not discounting the fact that we're still in a bear market, that the general pressure in the market is still down, and that even if we do pump up really nicely going into the merge, we would probably find sellers, longer-term accumulation, and then a recovery going into 2023 as we move a little bit closer to the halving for Bitcoin. Remember, we are still in a bear market, and we should not ignore the fact that most of these pumps will likely be dumped into to some degree. Even if we do get medium-term bullishness here, we likely would see a lot of bearish speculation on a pump, sideways consolidation, and once again, a breakout going into 2023. And so for this area, right, if we're looking at Bitcoin on the log scale chart, really the highest we can go, in my opinion, would be 30K. At that point, we would likely find bearish speculation and retest back into the support range before breaking out going into 2023. So for Ethereum, it's like 2,500 top, maximum upside. For Bitcoin, 30K maximum upside before another retest down. So we do have a lot of time to spend under our long-term downward sloping resistance line. Most likely, it's unlikely that we just pump to the moon. It's more likely that even if we do speculate up, we would see longer-term consolidation before a true recovery. Remember, in a bear market, pumps get sold into. So don't get overly bullish. Even if we do break out, I would say be a little bit skeptical at these higher levels if we do get there, and look for maybe another downside test. Control that FOMO, wait for better opportunity. But for the near term, if Ethereum breaks above 1800, guys, it looks like it'll lead Bitcoin. Ethereum has been the leader, so it would likely lead Bitcoin into a bounce off of that key 50 level. But once again, if you go on the daily RSI, you can draw this yourself. If we get below that trend line, expect major downside. For now, we're holding it. So those are really the key things I'm looking at now. We talked a lot about this recently, but just figured I would give you guys a quick refresher on all the things I'm looking at here. And that's really it for now. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to support the channel by joining Patreon, the VIP chat. And if you guys want to try something new, a fairly new exchange that I think is a great exchange, and I've been using a lot recently, BitGet. Click this link. If you use that link, you get a $4,000 trading bonus. No KYC, US approved. I'll see you guys in the next video.